Yeah, I'm stumped now. I don't know what to say or do.
I got a camera shot.
Huh?
A camera shot.
Yeah, that's it.
No, back to Boris.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I don't know if that's like fully true, but he basically will, the party will still, he will still be in charge. The party is still in charge, and then in August they will vote a new member. So, he will basically step down, and then his speech there I think was a bit of a piss take. He said something like, being Prime Minister of England is like the dream come true job or something like that. And he said it's like. I'm going to have to actually get the quote up because there's something that's really piss-taking.
Bruv, I've got something to say after. Fuck me, this is good. Forgot about this. I'm not going to be able to find the TikTok video either to back it up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you. It is clearly now the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new Prime Minister. And I've agreed with Sir Graham Brady, the chairman of our backbench MPs, that the process of choosing that new leader should begin now. And the timetable will be announced next week. And I've today appointed a cabinet to serve as I will until a new leader is in place. So I want to say to the millions of people who voted for us in 2019, many of them voting Conservative for the first time, thank you for that incredible mandate, the biggest Conservative majority since 1987, the biggest share of the vote since 1979. And the reason I have fought so hard in the last few days to continue to deliver that mandate in person was not just because I wanted to do so, but because I felt it was my job, my duty, my obligation to you to continue to do what we promised in 2019.
My what? My duty, my obligation. Big strong words.
Yeah, he done that three words as well. Like, gives it more emphasis.
Biggest obligation is to ensure safety of the people in this country. To ensure there's some truth in there. You're telling people they can't go and visit their family members. You're partying. You're partying. It's just madness.
And of course, I'm immensely proud.
Has he ever fully addressed it?
Not really.
Has anyone actually ever addressed it? Because I don't
kind of got blown over very quickly. They ended up with like £50 fines, bro. They got something fines.
Imagine, bro. Imagine. Nah, there's some people who got like 10 grand fines, bro. I remember hearing someone, not them, someone I know.
The continent for over half a century, reclaiming the power for this country to make its own laws in Parliament, getting us all through the pandemic.
Us with it, you cunt.
And the worst people, though, the people now suddenly going, you know, he ain't had it easy. He's had Brexit, a crisis, pandemics, blah blah blah. You're like, no, fuck that. The guy stood on TV and addressed the whole country about how bad coronavirus was. And
good evening. The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades.
Stay in your house and all this stuff.
Stay at home during this pandemic.
Yeah, he did not follow the rules, bro. If a police officer done you for speeding and you see him speeding, you'll be pissed.
Yeah.
It's the same bullshit. It's the same theory.
The thing is, he
obviously... He's in charge telling you shit that he ain't following.
It makes you wonder, you think, our views obviously on COVID, and we're not obviously the biggest believers in it, but you think people like him, the things he was saying, oh, this deadly and there's this many deaths, he obviously didn't believe it himself because he didn't have the fear in him that was stopping him from partying.
Yeah.
Because at some point I genuinely did have that fear.
We're telling you to have that
come
fear.
into that contact. But this whole time did he think the science is bollocks, disease ain't that bad? And I wonder, does he have them same views? Thing is though, even if he's stepping down, but he's just a face of a group, of a collective decision most of the time. He doesn't say, no, this is, well, he might, this is right, overrides 7 other people in the Tory party, but because he's the Prime Minister, what he says goes. No, he's going to surely have to put it to the rest of the Tory party.
He votes stuff,
even if he steps down, it's still the same people powering the moves and
same
voting
ideas,
on the same
really.
things.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It ain't just him. He didn't put drinks in everyone's hands at that party, but they didn't have to go to it. Any one of them could have come out and told the press that it was going on, and been honest. Or
anything.
Police.
Yeah.
When they're in the police, that's what they told us to do. If your neighbour's having a party, having a barbecue, and there's people there, ring the police, because that's the right thing to do.
Murderers.
Yeah, they're murderers. Yeah. we're at a party, we won't ring the police on ourselves because there's only 30 of us in here having wine and cheese.
Yeah, COVID's still around. When was the last time you heard of a COVID death?
Yeah.
Like, COVID's still about, people still unvaxxed. They've proved the vaccine's not completely efficient, so where's all these COVID deaths?
Yeah.
No, but because I think my mum said to me the other day, she was like, oh, there's more cases coming back. See a newspaper headline, like, more cases, blah, blah. And I thought, is it this thing that I had? Are they just calling every new little
100%.
1 week bug, 24-hour bug, COVID?
When do you hear anyone ever say now, like, oh, I've had a bug? No one has a cold anymore. No one ever says, oh, I've got a bit of a cold. No one ever says, I've got
Everyone's
a bug.
scared to.
Everyone's got, like, if you've got something, it's, oh, mate, I was wrecked with that COVID. What? You've been ill before. It's not the first time in your life you've been ill. Like, I understand that if we've gone our whole lives and there is no disease.
Yeah, there's new disease.
That's the way we acted. We acted as if no one's ever had a flu before.
Nah.
As soon as this COVID come out, oh my god, we're all going to die.
But the thing is, though, do you not think, because I've noticed that I feel like the whole general population's perspective on just illness now is so much different. Our way of thinking has been changed towards illness. Like before, it was just you got a bug.
What a big thing
To even avoid people. If you went to the office and it's
you
ill,
went to school
no one
and
said
stuff,
go home. They're like, oh,
no.
she's ill. Oh, stay away from me.
No.
But it weren't actually that
It
deep.
was a joke. Oh, don't come near me. He got that flu. He got allergies. 2 minutes later, they'd be sitting next to you having a conversation. It was just literally
No one
a joke.
cares.
No one gave
I've got that thing you had. Yeah.
Yeah. Then a week later, you'd be like, you fuck up.
You're a bit like, oh, stay away from me. Oh, and everyone I feels like a bit more shook than usual.
It's like a mind shift.
100%, bro. Boris, yeah. Did I ever show you that TikTok? Smart geezer, bro.
Yeah.
Smart fucking cunt.
Boris Johnson says weird shit so that it covers up the bad shit he does. I will explain. And I'm making this to piggyback off the fucking attention the last one's getting because people need to know about this. If you're British, this is what your Prime Minister's doing. If you're from another country, this is what they could be doing. You are not immune to propaganda. During Brexit, Boris ran a campaign where a bus had £350 million goes to the EU. How about we put that in our NHS? We're out of the EU. We now are privatising our NHS slowly. They didn't do that. It's bullshit. But in 2019, he said he likes to relax making model buses. So a lot of articles about that come out when you type in Boris Johnson bus now. You type in Boris Johnson oven ready and you get a quote from January 2021 where he says steak and oven chips are very good. Not the boasting about an oven ready deal for Brexit in 2020. It wasn't ready in 2020, just to let anyone know. Boris supposedly had an affair with a model, Jennifer Ackery. He chose the language of model of restraint in a speech following that, and the next day by 1:30 p.m, model of restraint was the top result for Boris Johnson model. Boris had an alleged domestic dispute with his girlfriend Carrie Simmons where police were called. 3 months later, he gives a speech to the police that's fucking shambles where he just repeats the word police over and over again. To avoid association with UKIP, whose supporters are known as kippers, at a conference talking about EU trade regulations, he held up a kipper and waved it around. There's also stuff about how he wanted to build a bridge to Ireland, and that covers up some fucking... Man, doing this is upsetting me. I don't want to research more. But there you go. He's not a lovable goofball that always says crazy things. He's a calculated adult man that keeps his hair messy so you underestimate him and don't recognise the fact that this country is falling apart.
Do you think, has he been told to do that? Is he doing it off his own
got a press
back?
team? Or has he got a press
Oh,
team?
yeah, 100%, yeah, no question. Sick idea, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm saying that's like Walt Disney, isn't it?
What's that?
About the Frozen, because apparently, like, if you Google Walt Disney Frozen, it comes up a conspiracy about he froze his dead body, like, and they're going to unfreeze him at one point, and that's why they made the film Frozen. Because now, when you search Google, that's what's going to come up. You put anything like Disney, Walt Disney, the Frozen, you only get that film. You're bombarded with everything related to that film, rather than any news article about possibly him being frozen.
Yeah, a film like Frozen, I haven't seen it, so it's hard to make this judgment. But what makes it so great that every kid loves it? Is it not just engineered that way, where they just keep pushing? Yeah. Everyone, because everyone's
every
talking
toy
about
shop,
it, you
every
like it.
supermarket, every place that sells anything has made an effort to make that their headline. So you're just
Well, it's
bombarded
relevant,
with TVs to start talking about it. When it's pushed like that, it's just
Putting
in
the
your
songs
head.
everywhere. Yeah. Even like Peppa Pig, bruv. How do kids love such a simple,
What's actually good about it?
2D
Yeah.
illustration that is just...
What is actually good about it?
Bruv,
Because they can't actually understand word by word what's being said. Like
Tommy loved it
even
from the get-go before he could understand anything.
Even Daisy, the last couple of years, like now possibly she could understand word by word, but a couple of years ago she couldn't.
Yeah.
Not word by word, not whole, like, well, not when they're speaking like whole sentences. They don't really actually know. They just know like, oh, muddy puddle. Like they don't get all the actual interactions and stuff. So what is the biggest appeal? There is nothing apart from just the fact that it's just pushed. It's just on all the time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it on
at the prime time?
Maybe it's catchy where it hits. You know, with like, us with songs and catchiness for a
got
kid.
certain.
That subconscious, they might just enjoy them repetitive or them high pitched pepper sounds or who the fuck knows, bro.
Yeah.
I think about that with kids programs. Surely they must have like a team of psychologists in a lot of TV programs, a lot of stuff to say. Right,
What's
what
right?
do you think the best way? It makes sense. Who wouldn't if you've got the budget?
Shouldn't kids' TV be? Shouldn't it be like almost processed for complete censorship? Where looking at it thinking like, oh, is that right? That might not be producing the right kind of.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the problem then it being over censored and then.
Yeah.
The kid's not learning.
And then who's to say that it should be that way and you shouldn't be allowed
Yeah.
to say these things? Yeah, it is a catch-22. But like Peppa Pig, bruv, the values, but not the values, should I say, but bruv, how they treat Daddy Pig. Always call him fat. Oh, Daddy Pig's fat, lazy. Bruv, it's unacceptable. Making the dad seem like a joke. And then Peppa, little bitch, bruv.
Yeah.
Little whinge bag bitch, and you think,
Weasel.
like, there's kids that will watch this and they
copy.
mimic that behaviour.
And there's quite a lot of programs where they have like naughty kids. Like obviously you have Dennis the Menace back in the day. Now it's like
well, he even
Horrible
got
Henry.
tailored
Horrible
down.
Henry.
Horrid Henry, yeah.
Horrid
They all
Henry.
got tailored down though because they were too horrid. Well, Dennis the Menace got his slingshot taken away.
Yeah, all got
He no longer bullied Walter.
Yeah, got censored
few
over
years
the
back.
years. Yeah, because back in the day it wasn't. Now it's a bit more friendly.
Yeah. So you sort of get it at the same time you think, oh, it's a bit harsh, let boys be boys, but then, alright, there's some boys that just turn into absolute cunts.
Saying like that Horrid Henry, you watch it and you look and you think like if a kid watches like a good few episodes of this, like what are they actually learning?
Really?
Just
yeah,
to be
yeah,
like
annoy
a
your brother.
brat, like an absolute brat, yeah, no respect to anyone.
I feel like as a kid, did you not watch certain things long enough, enjoy the character and almost fall in love with the character that much, you wanted to embody that character? That was like almost a role model. Because as a kid, you want to be something.
100%.
I remember watching some action movies back then. I come out, I'm like, I'm ready to jump out of a helicopter, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like, fuck it.
That person.
That person is
You live
weird,
that,
and you think,
yeah.
kids, bro.
I mean, if you then fall in love with that Horrid Henry, and there is kids out there that think Horrid Henry's like number one.
You do everything
You're gonna
he
be
does.
100%. Well, how are you gonna watch that program as a kid and then not act that way? Oh, I just like the program, but I'm mature enough to understand that isn't the way to act. I like it because it isn't like. No way. A kid likes it. They think, yeah, that's funny as fuck.
I like that guy. Yeah.
Oh, he just
I
told
want to
his-
be like him.
He basically on the sly one and told his mum to fuck herself.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
going to go and do. I'm not doing homework. I'm going to slap my brother and tell him he's a little pansy.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some other little neck stuff. Like, it's just not teaching the right stuff. At the same
No.
time, obviously, you don't want it to be just boring where it's just continuously educational.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
You need balance, yeah. But the thing is, does anyone ever look into the directors of these kids programs? The people
That's
who
what I'm trying to get out
you
of the
think you don't know what
censorship
their
thing.
values are.
That's what I'm
You
saying,
don't know
like,
shit about them.
You need a psychologist looking through that stuff because, like you said about the
Which
high
you
pitched
get in
noise,
Russia
how do
and
you know there
North
ain't like
Korea.
some weird.
Subconscious
Yeah.
fucking programming, bro. Trust
Exactly.
me.
You remember at one point there was that like things going around where there was like Peppa Pig like episodes on YouTube,
Which was getting
and
like,
then,
executed and that.
and then halfway through the program saying it was just changing. It would be like some raw footage. Like, I made me feel sick.
Right.
At the time, I used to like.
Put YouTube on for days.
Yeah, when she was sleeping, she won't really be watching it. It was kind of in the background, but then it made me think. Imagine her waking up and there's just some madness on that TV, like. But that's just
Scarring her, innit? Yeah.
scarring.
What was the other one that Momo, the one with the eyes, innit? You remember that thing that went round?
No.
Some just weird character that I think was popping up on YouTube. It was basically like a version of Rickrolling, but with like this dirty, horrible looking character that would scare any kid. It was uncomfortable for me to look at.
Yeah.
It was like them realistic 3D animations. It was like that, but like horror.
Yeah.
But weird, just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Talking Tom? You ever remember the scandals around that, bro?
Yeah.
Peak.
The people, what they were saying, it was like listening to every word you're saying or something, wasn't it?
I think it started telling people to do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Someone on the other end, and it started speaking back, but it was someone then saying, "Oh, touch your toes," or "Take this off," or something. Did it have a camera? But it would have had access to your camera anyway. All apps fucking do.
Yeah.
But
No, they made actual teddies, bro. It's actually a toy, bro. It's like that, and it talks back to you. It records you.
Yeah.
You can press a button on his hand, and it records for the next, like, say, 10 seconds, and then you can do some other stuff, and it basically then will repeat back to you like that footage from like thing, and it saves it. Because my nan used to have one, Daisy played it all the time. However, one time we had been there for time, went around there, played it, and it played footage from like 3 months before the last time we were around there. It played all our voices again. Is it just recording all the time? Like, is it another one of them things where it's just continuously on? So you said like the app, as well. It's just it's got access to everything.
Well, then I've heard about people buying, them baby monitors, them two-way baby monitors, them getting intercepted.
Yeah.
People talking through that, and you think, bro, this fuck, we're so unaware of.
We think we know technology as well, but we don't.
We know it at the consumer level.
Yeah.
We don't know it at the operational level. And that's what they're teaching kids now. Going to Costco, they got books on computer science, beginner's guide to coding, all aimed at kids. And some of the questions, this is a beginner's guide, I can't even understand the question. It does not make no sense. It's just in some mad computer language about, fuck knows. Kids are going to be building the metaverse. They're going to be building
that's what I'm saying.
virtual,
Our
futuristic shit.
Our parents could barely turn on a phone. They barely know how to use it. We've had to teach them how to like send a message on Facebook.
Still fucking do.
They can't digest the concept of it. We, like you said, the consumer, we know how to turn everything on, work it. With a little bit of research into anything, we know how to like basically simple repairs and
still
all that
at
kind of
consumer
stuff.
level, it's more advanced.
But the next generation's coming next, the ones coming through, they're the ones that just, like you said, like coding will be there.
Got
like
Minecraft.
Easy, exactly.
Kids all play, and they basically build. I don't know how it works, but I know they build worlds. So I don't know how the coding ties in. Do you know? And apparently there's a coding element of Minecraft.
Well, it's just because the coding is the linking all the stuff together.
Oh, is it?
Because like you're literally getting different elements to then put them together to create different things. The coding obviously it starts off at a basic level where you just put wood and a rope to make an axe, or whether it's a stone and wood makes an axe.
Oh,
but then,
like that,
yeah, that's how so that's how you make an axe, and then you go like crack wood like to make it like you can start hitting trees to get more wood. Yeah. But then to make, let's just say, a chair, you might need 7 axes and 4.
It sounds like RuneScape.
4 like oak tree bits of wood or something like that.
Yeah.
So then obviously you've got to then go and make X amount of chain to make X amount of axes to go with your oak tree to then make this one. But then to make a whole steel wall, you might need 70 of them chairs with like this and this. So you've got to make all these codes to get this and then make that.
Oh,
so that's how the game
works. It's well hard to build a big, massive thing in Minecraft.
Like I haven't like played it, but I'd imagine so. It takes time.
Yeah, because I see you see
them, which is like coding. When you're making a website doing coding, it takes hours, isn't it? You're just sitting there like banging out code after code after code after code after code, and that's what Minecraft. That's what they do. They just sit there going like,
building the
they know what
houses.
Exactly that. They just go around and that's it. Like you said, you said thousands of kids just know how to do coding, just building metaverses, bro.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking.
That's exactly what it is. You just literally run around.
One sec, I think that camera's gone off. Fucking annoying cunting thing. It might go off, innit? Just keep an eye on that red light. Oh, what was we saying? What was it about, bro? Fuck, this has got
Gone.
6 seconds to talk about.
Chocolate spoon.
What is it, Boost?
Yeah.
Is that related to the drink? Is it the same?
I don't think so, but I don't think it is because like the Boost drink's not made by Cadbury's.
Oh, is that made by Cadbury's?
This is Cadbury's, yeah.
Surely the name. I swear the font's similar as well.
It is, bro.
No, not so much now. It looks like it's changed.
Yeah, maybe not
It's a
now.
lot more modern now. I've never noticed that. Used to be a lot different.
Man, that looks better, bro.
Yeah,
Sure it's
100%.
like
See the one about Kit Kat? I saw that I had down there.
that.
Kit Kat, I think it's with the dash.
I was gonna say it's the dash. Has got a dash, isn't it?
I think that's the argument. So I think it used to have the dash, but I think by today's standard it doesn't have a dash.
Ah!
Yeah.
No, it's got a dash, bro. 100% back in the day it had a dash.
Bro, 100%, yeah. 100%.
1 million.
Let me check.
100%. Can picture it too clearly to not have that dash.
Yeah, no dash, bro.
Nah, come on.
Let's type it with dash and then see if it makes sense. Yeah, that, bro, 100%. That one on the left.
Yeah, that's it. Well, someone edited that though.
Yeah.
Someone's put that on. Nah, it definitely had a dash.
I told you, July 5th, CERN done that Hadron Collider, innit? Where they
yeah.
accelerate the particles, create little mini black holes, and can study possibly alternate fucking universes, dimensions, whatever. That's what I was going to ask. What's your views on space?
Well, I definitely think there's more out there. 100%.
Oh, you think, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not just literally us. There's no way. If the science is correct, where they say about how big
Yeah.
space is,
That's the
it's
thing,
like, in
yeah.
theory it's infinity. There's planets that take so long to even get to, we haven't even seen half of them yet. There's
Yeah.
definitely more there, yeah.
Do you not think, here's a fucking shout, this just come to me. So, they say about the New World Order, yeah, when the New World Order comes, it will be a one world religion. That's what they've always said.
Yeah.
So, in order for that to happen, and as part of the New Age, because religion is sort of old age, they'd have to somehow abolish all the old religious ways of thinking, which I'd say they're sort of doing with science, because science is opening up the possibility, it's limitless, anything could exist,
Yeah.
and it sort of defies and denies any existence of a god, in a sense, by believing in that. So I think, right, is that this one world religion that's coming? Because science, once again, none of us can verify, none of us can prove, so we just trust some higher ups that we'll never meet, and we just take their word for it. And there's no one smart enough to even try and disprove them. And even if there was, because they're backed by certain scientists that are maybe following certain agendas, they will get shut down and not be taken seriously.
It's possible. You think if you're just creating these like generations of kids that just like into coding and technology and science, you will just create like a one religion. It will just be like a modern futuristic science kind of religion where you just believe in really
Anything you're told.
yeah.
And that's what science is, in a sense. It's just believing everything you're told. You got to obviously have faith that these
someone
people,
else's theory.
and being verified, it's not always fucking fake, but then you think that some stuff is manipulated, as we've seen with the vaccine shit, all this. Some shit gets manipulated, and you think, if that gets manipulated, who's stopping you from doing this?
Yeah.
We don't know shit, bro. We literally know fuck
Nothing. What is it saying? Like, I don't know the stat at all, but it's the amount of the ocean we've actually explored. It's something ridiculous. Like,
so like 25%.
yeah, I was going to say 25-30%. Think of all this time.
Well, it's like 85% is unexplored, I think is
Yeah,
the thing, something like that.
And we haven't seen it all yet.
Yeah.
Like, what else is even there? Because the further you go down, the weirder some of them
Well,
creatures
we
get.
can't. I remember learning this. I'd imagine it's still the case, but we couldn't ever go below a certain depth in the water because the water pressure would crush anything. Bruv, what's below the places we cannot reach, bruv? What sort
And there
of
is things
life
down there.
is on, obviously, bruv. They have no reason to go to surface level.
Yeah.
They've probably got their own little life down there.
And you think they're creatures that live in total darkness?
Bruv, don't. Bruv. Would you want to go down there?
No,
in a submarine, bruv?
No,
Fuck
no,
that,
bruv. Not in a million
It's like them
years.
movies. Them movies not tell you shit, bruv. You've seen the movies where they go down to some mad depths, where the water pressure gets too much, and they encounter some fuck off fucking animal, bruv. That's like after. And I think
Ain't for
that's
me.
got to be real, bruv. Like it's got
Ain't
to have
for
some
me.
basis. Like,
Yeah, some believe.
But if you go to that fucking low where there's no human intervention and there never has been, that is going to be a flourishing fucking society
it's just
of
been left.
It's been
Over the years,
to
it's just
grow.
it's just developing over the years,
be some
by itself.
Big boys that run that fucking underworld in the ocean, bruv, fuck the fault of that, mate.
Yeah, it's saying like the bits we have been to, they've seen like them weird fish that have like big fat things that have like teeth.
Some ugly fish out there.
Ones that have like a tail thing that's back, someone's got like a torch.
Oh,
on
like,
it.
yeah.
Well, so yeah, there's a fish that's developed a fucking torch. What else do they develop?
Really? Yeah. How does an animal have a light, bruv?
How's that worked out?
How do you explain that? By any religious or scientific standards?
Imagine having your finger.
No one can
lit
explain that. It's mad.
Imagine your finger lighting up, just glowing.
Yeah, bro, it's
to a torch.
supernatural, isn't it? Literally
100%.
supernatural. We have
It's dark,
supernatural animals.
getting your fingers just a torch.
Yeah, bro. Adaptations, isn't it? Well, no. You think no other food? If it's an adaptation, it's evolution. All fishes would have that torch, but this specific one just has that.
Yeah. It's not for me, not down there.
But imagine what, like, we got coral reefs now. You imagine what would be there, bro.
Yeah.
Some abyss of just hell. Bro, all the worst and ugliest looking fish, the ones that are not good enough to be seen in the ocean by humans and be admired, go fucking into the underbelly. Dirty things, bro.
And they just lived there for thousands of years.
And they'd be like
and they could have been there since day dot.
But if you could study them, that'd probably be the best indicator you could ever get of history.
Yeah.
Because people say, oh, we got dinosaurs, we found these fossils. No, that's just
these
a
things
theory,
down there
bruv.
has probably been there since day, yeah.
You could actually get a real idea of shit. That's where, not where life comes from, but I don't know, bro. No, if it's never been explored, it probably wouldn't even be an accurate indicator because it's so alien to the rest of the world anyway. You couldn't even compare to it.
No. Back to the space, like space is the same.
Oh yeah.
There has to be planets out there, and I wouldn't even doubt it. That there's planets out there just like us. Other planets that have just could be similar.
Yeah.
Might be a whole different aspect, whatever, but the same kind of concept where there's people that have started
Just
with
developing,
nothing but
doing
over
something,
hundreds of years.
Same physical shape and
they've developed. They built bigger buildings, and better cars, and better whatever it is, better flying vehicles or whatever they've got. But they've just built it better and better and better. And they can either be behind us or in front of us or something. But I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go past there being some kind of like alien, if you want, like paint it as the typical alien looking picture, whatever they look
saying
like.
it's alien to us. And
yeah. Wouldn't doubt that for a second. Don't understand why there wouldn't have been some kind of contact by now, or is that where the bigger purpose comes in? Is there something bigger than that?
This is where my theories come in.
Stops this thing from everything connecting. Like, is it a massive Love Island? Are we all just actually on a huge TV
show,
program?
That's where my thing comes in, because I'm like, all the elitists, all these people, the general consensus is space exists, and they're pushing it, and they're showing us all these new things, and I'm like, if you're pushing it, I'm always just questioning it. I'm like, I don't want to believe it. Like, I just can't help myself. So
why are you pushing it?
It's always a thing for me. And then when I hear the minorities raising their voice, flat Earth, this, I'm like, oh, let me go listen to that, and then I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, think of it deep. Yeah, makes sense. There's actually proof here. I'm like, the proof of space, most of it's CGI. Most of it's put out there by people who I don't think can be trusted.
What, you think it's flat?
Maybe not flat, because there's the hollow earth theory. I haven't looked into that enough to know about it, to believe it. Using my senses, it's definitely flat. We do not rotate. So off of that, yeah, it's flat. Off of other things, yeah, there's a lot of evidence to support it. I said to you about the water on the horizon and the sea level.
No one goes to the end.
Oh, you not heard that?
No.
Well, that's a rabbit hole. It's the Antarctic. Apparently, there's some like mad military base there. Obviously, you can't get there. No one can get there. People have apparently gone near there, and it's like the edge of the earth. And I think there's not photos, but artist depictions of just like this big drop of a wall. So yeah, that's one whole fucking rabbit hole, and probably loads of supporting evidence out there to further that theory if you want to believe it.
Where's the sea going? It's just drifting off the edge.
It's depicted in, I think, the Jewish books. Basically a ball and then in the middle of the ball is just the earth, and land, and then you've got the firmament above it, and then underneath you've got the soil. But then I think you've got an outer ball that contains the heaven's waters above the firmament, and then between another gap, and then I think there's space beyond that, some bullshit, and then there's like hell underneath, our underworld. Yeah. There's an astronaut, did I say it to you the other day? There's an astronaut that's got a Bible verse on his tombstone that refers to a verse that says, "Then God put a firmament above the earth." And this was someone that had apparently gone to space.
Yeah.
And someone else asked Neil Armstrong to swear on the Bible that he stepped foot on the moon. He refused to do it, got pissed off. There's a video of that.
Mr. Armstrong, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital. Wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen, Mr. Sibrel.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Sibrel, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's a real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The meeting is not open.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please
I have a tape.
That'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to... Why not? Why won't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible?
So yeah, there's a few like little things where I'm like, oh, okay, everything's not adding up now.
Yeah.
Like all our theories on space and that is based off the moon landing, and I'm like, well, not based off of that, but that was our first understanding. That built the foundation for all these new beliefs. And you think that many people supporting it, there's got to be some clout there. It can't all be bullshit. And how do you study it? You can only study it from a telescope, no? Because we haven't been there and taken samples, so it's all theory.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can't imagine how do you study space. You can't go and
maybe
get up there with a fucking magnifying glass and tweezers picking bits out.
Maybe they did. Like you see the moon, obviously you see the sun, then you see the moon. Yeah. They're the two things you see every day. Like once in a lifetime, you're going to get opportunity to see Saturn and Jupiter just in the air. Your own eyes, kind of without a telescope. And that theory, just on mad theory, the moon's close. Maybe they did explore that first, like, but actually what they found was saying they didn't want to fucking find, but like they wanted to put that in a box. But the problem with that is every motherfucker can see this moon, so they've had to just paint a theory that the sun comes up every day and the moon comes out every night. Like there's times where it's in the fucking day I can see it, but like when it's night time, do you see the sun? It's not, you don't see the sun, but it's dark. But at night time, you still, I know the moon isn't the one like giving the darkness, but at the same time, like,
provides
why then do I see it still in the daytime? Is it just actually a planet that's all just made up, and actually it's a planet? It's not very bright, it's dark looking.
Yeah.
Maybe it ain't somewhere we want to be going, but they just because it's in view, they've had to make a theory up to just to put everyone at ease that it's just the moon. Like you won't want to go there. Like we move on to other things. There's a whole other universe out there to look for, but actually there ain't really. It's just us and these motherfuckers that at any point could be looking for us.
I come across a theory the other week about the moon being fake, the moon being put there years ago. Saying it like this just sounds like absolute bollocks, but I'm sure they've got a bit more credible shit to make them believe it. They believe the moon was put there years ago for whatever reason, like it's artificial basically. I don't know how that is even possible, but back to that thing of the sun and the moon, it's called flat earth. Australia now, which is down under, they got no sun, no moon. Well, they're just in pure darkness. Like, what's going on? Well, I'd like to know what's happening right there, because we've got both of them in the sky. Yeah. The moon doesn't, it's not like it's setting and it's all the way down the horizon, it's still relatively high. Yeah. So, is it not turning round? Has it got one face on it and then maybe it turns round? I don't know. So yeah, it's always interesting for me.
I think the idea of like, if you do believe in space, the idea of space is pretty mad. It's mad to think that like we're on Earth, like Earth is massive. Like you think like we've only ever seen this area. You think there's so many countries. Like this Earth is actually huge. Like to cover all the land on this Earth is just like in a lifetime you never cover half of it. To then think you can go out of that, and then there's just years and years worth of travel. Like it's so long you do it in time. Yeah. Like that's how long the travel is. You can't really say like it's 10 miles down the road, but it isn't. It's 5 years to get to a planet.
I forget about that. Yeah,
there's planets. There's some planets we can't get to because it's 97 years to get there.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have 4 generations of a family just to get there. The last generation won't have a clue what the fuck's going on. They've never left a spaceship. They've left their whole life on a spaceship. Like 90 years later to land on the moon. Like, the idea of a star burns out, but we still see its light for like X amount of years because it's taking that long to travel. That's fucking. I don't know if I want to believe it or not. It's so
because it seems so far away. But then I did see another thing on. We've been lied to about the distance of the moon or the sun. One of them, we've been told it's this many miles away, but actually it's X amount. So you think, I suppose because we've been told it's this far away, that opens up the whole realm of it takes this long to get to. But who knows, bro? There is a space, but then I believe once again there's a firmament above the earth. And I think there's even some videos of people shooting something up, like a rocket with a camera, and it hits something, and you hear like a donk, and it just comes all the way down.
Yeah.
Then if they've never been to the moon, you're like, there's no other venture's been out there. Actually, has there? Weren't that who was that? Felix Baumgartner, wasn't it?
Oh, ring the bell.
You remember him? I remember him apparently going up to space. See someone say it's CGI, but he jumped from space.
Oh yeah, this is what I was about to say.
Into Earth or some bullshit.
The one that literally went out of orbit and then literally jumped into orbit back into Earth. Yes, he was actually outside Earth.
Yeah.
He was in space and then he jumped off of something, parachuted into Earth. Man.
Yeah, I don't quite believe that. I can't lie. How are you not dying?
Why are you attempting it?
Yeah, what? Yeah, really, what is there to gain from that? I feel like there's a bigger picture. Just to get everyone used to the idea of, you can go up to space. Once again, that reaffirms everyone's belief in space.
Yeah, you can even fall out and just land on Earth.
Just land.
As long as you've got a parachute on.
Yeah, what happens to gravity? Is that out the Earth's orbit?
No, he's like just on that
Got
level
gravity.
basically.
Yeah, okay, cool.
If he it's probably one of the ones where if he leant backwards, he would have probably just gone off into the abyss. But because he had to literally dive forward just to get that gravitational pull back into Earth. I mean, that's how high up it was. Have you seen the video?
I saw it back in the day.
It's a mad video, but not something that couldn't have been CGI.
That's what I mean. But then you just question: is someone really gonna do that? And what do they seek to gain? And just with my paranoid, untrustworthy self, with the elites and anything they tell us, I'm like, nope. Part of a bigger agenda.
Yeah.
They're fucking getting rid of religion. Look how much fucking religion. Oh, maybe not actually. I was gonna say how much good it done. Probably not. But you feel like in the old English, what we know of our old English culture, let's say, when it had the Christian morals and values.
Then
I feel like from
when it was
what I know, it felt
yeah.
like it was a better time.
If they portrayed it correctly.
Yeah, that too, definitely. If they portrayed it correctly, and
it's very giving, very charitable.
Yeah, it's a bit more
kind.
Community. Everyone now is a bit more divided. I think that's multiculturalism as well, though. Everyone's got different beliefs and values and morals, so people just clash now. Different ways of doing things. To be fair, back in the day, everyone was still cuds. They used to slate each other. When I think of the stories my mum would tell me, everyone was cheating, ran off with other people's husbands.
100%. And at school you're getting taught some Christian belief about slap the other cheek.
Yeah. And the teacher's battering you.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Take back that statement. Oh, you know what? I do have a good point on. The older generation, a lot of people say, they're racist. Say, these immigrants coming and stealing our jobs. Years ago, though, when it was just the English culture, you had a few foreigners, let's say. The newspapers were writing the headlines because people still don't make their own independent thought. They have to look to a newspaper, TV, that'll tell them, this is happening, this is what you should think about it. They will shape the public's opinion on any matter with how they write something. You can look back at the old headlines, it'll say, oh, immigrants coming here, stealing jobs, doing this, and then paint them in whatever fucking light. So, with that in mind, when people say, then people are racist, all their beliefs were shaped off of what they was told.
Yeah, the jokes when they say it though, like, oh, immigrants come, took our jobs. Like, yeah, Susan, they give you a fucking heart surgery.
Yeah, what are you doing?
They just got a flight here, and they just get raffle ticket of what job they got.
Yeah, that's it. Talking of Susan Boyle, bruv, you know she's quite popular.
Yeah?
I think so. I think she's like quite
Well,
popular.
she sold out mad albums when she made her song.
Yeah,
Sold
but
mad
I think,
sales.
so I was in a charity shop the other day in Derby, and there was this girl with her carer. She was talking about the albums. Oh, it's so funny. She was saying, oh, I've heard of, have you heard of Jason Derulo? Jason Derulo, oh yeah, I've heard of him. And then the carer was like, oh, have you heard of someone so bait? And this girl was like, no, don't know who that is. And she's found Susan Boyle's CD. Oh, Susan Boyle, oh, I love her. I've got her other CD, blah, blah. But then, probably a couple of months ago, someone referenced that they listened to Susan Boyle and they had her album. And he was quite a respectable person.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
In my eyes, I was like, oh, fuck me, she's doing big. I thought she fell off. I thought she just had one album, that's it, just
Yeah, I would have said the same.
because I'd say she only, and it's actually quite bad as a society that we've done this. She only got the credit she got and the attention and the fame because of how ugly she was.
Yeah, 100%.
That was it.
If she was like
Nothing
average
else.
looking, no chance.
Nothing. It was because she come out looking like a simpleton, all fucking dopey,
and then belted it.
it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
It's a
she
story.
deserves to win. Bro, that is it, bro. It's Hollywood.
Someone stood there and
Keeps
went,
you hooked every
someone
week.
literally stood there and was like, yes, perfect.
Yeah, bro. You know what? I had someone I went to school with who was on Britain's Got Talent. He's a dancer. He got into the semi-finals, I think. It was him and his dad, I think. Was it? Or not? Anyway, I remember seeing him at school and I'm like, oh, did you get through? I think he had the trials or something. But he basically said, oh, something that indicated that it is somewhat fixed and rigged. After he went out, he didn't get in either the quarters or the semis. I've disappeared, just ghosted from school, no warning, nothing, just disappeared.
You never heard of him since.
Nah. So it's just like...
If anyone's seen him, if anyone's seen him.
So it's Michael.
But it is all big them shows anyway because there's auditions beforehand.
It's got to be real.
Like,
if you're making a
there
TV
is.
show, you can't wing it, can you?
It's pre-auditioned.
Yeah,
they've already pre-auditioned people
for the auditions.
Yeah,
live
and then
auditions.
so the audition's true, but they just select who gets through. So they basically look and think, yeah, you're either jokes or you're a really good singer. Boom, it's just whatever's telly-worthy.
Which makes sense though, because you think, we're going to do this show, right, so for the auditions, we need shock factor, we need this, let's do an audition for the auditions.
Yeah.
You get the people, right, first episode, we'll put this person in, with this, then we'll do this after, we'll focus on this. From a director, an organised point of view, you have to, innit?
But then the problem with that
people
is
take it as truth.
Is you lose people that are quite good at singing, but just have zero personality. So they're not bad, it's not
They're
funny.
not TV material.
Yeah, they're just not TV material because they can sing,
There
but
is
they
no
just
talent.
have zero personality. They just don't get through, like they don't even get a chance to go on
Bro,
audition.
the thing that pisses me off about Britain's Got Talent, when Americans, Italians,
Yeah.
people come over. If you live here, cool.
Yeah, it makes
You
sense.
come
We live
over.
here, yeah.
Bruv, you've got the show in your country. I suppose maybe get that publicity, try and make it big in England, but go to your country that you reside in and take part in their national Got Talent show.
Which is the same company.
Exactly, yeah. And
Not like
probably at least one judge is probably appearing in your country.
Yeah.
That's on the Britain one as well.
even The Voice, that's supposed to be a surprise factor. They don't know who's coming next and who they are and stuff. That's the same thing again. You vote. They like put up YouTube videos or whatever, and people are voting on who they think are like good. So they only put like the popular ones on. So no matter who they're fucking saying yes or no to, they're all probably going to be like
Have to
half
be
decent
half
thing,
someone to be
because
on
they've
The
all
Voice.
they've all had to get a certain amount of votes to get past that stage. So they're not surprises.
Yeah.
They know who's coming.
Everyone's
like,
got a good voice. It's just what character or genre they
they've
sort
got
of go to.
they've got the list of names on the sheet in front of them. There's been times where they've gone like, oh, who's next? Oh, Charlie Simmons. So they can just YouTube that person 2 minutes before the person comes out. If they want to, like, so
really.
How hard's it going to be fine? Like, that name's there.
You just say to the showroom, show me him.
Yeah.
No, the show's no, get the fucking video.
Yeah.
Mate. Get the video.
William used to have his hand, phone in his hand 24/7.
Yeah.
He's probably like, boom, looking all the time, like, yeah, it's alright. Like,
when you think about Will.i.am, he went from Black Eyed Peas to TV personality, and he's now rebranded completely. And he's someone who's sort of, I don't know, relevant or doing well. A lot of people, I suppose, fall off, but he stayed relevant in.
Yeah, everyone, like,
only off the voice though. I think
that like kind of saved him, because like everyone knows Will.i.am. I feel like everyone loves him. Like,
you know what? I fucking hate him.
I kind of do as well. Deep down.
Oh, you hate him, yeah?
Really, yeah.
He's just
too much.
Yeah, he's too exotic, like fake. I feel I get very like fake vibes from him.
Another one is Elise Addiction.
Yeah, not a fan of her.
Not a fan.
I used to like Simon Cowell back in the day.
Back in the day, not anymore.
Yeah, I think he's a prick, arrogant little prick,
and just not and nice to people. Like, that sounds weird. That's what you
just said.
I know, but there's like times where people have done shit on the program, or missed the line saying, and he's like, "Oh, it's alright." Like, blah, blah. Nah, that's not Simon Cowell, bro. Man used to rip people even when they were good. Someone just done 10 performances, he's still gonna rip you.
So I mean, he'll give someone the niceties, and then next person just rip into.
I have to say, well done. That was the worst audition tonight. Things like that, like them drop, so you're just like, what's that? Oh, Gordon Ramsay does that shit all the time.
In front of how many people in a crowd?
Yeah,
it's humiliation, bro. I'll be seeking damages after X Factor.
Yeah,
if that was me, I'd be like, you've caused me emotional trauma. When I'm in public now, people say this. You've ruined my life, mate.
Do a Jamie Carl on them. How they just managed to like wipe Jamie Carl out of history of TV. You do not see a reference. You do not see a meme. You do not see nothing about Jamie Carl. It's deleted.
You know the worst thing?
There's
the
no
worst thing about it is the show that fucked him up has his name in it. If it had something like The Talk Show or The Family Problem Solver, he can come back. Jeremy Carl's on the Jeremy Carl show. He's fucked up.
It's his face, like the whole thing was him.
He's fucked. Yeah, he's a cheeky cunt as well, bro, because I remember he had a gambling problem and an affair.
Yeah, someone else told me that.
He had the cheek to, how dare you, blah blah. Fucking, why don't you go see Graham and the team backstage, you little prick. He used to piss me off as well, because there's some people who, granted, they probably could do better, they're given a few excuses, but he'll just unleash on them. I'm like, bruv, that is so uncool.
And some of them don't deserve it.
And he waits for them claps, bruv. He goes, da 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 da, and he almost gets the tempo right with the words. You know when he's about to finish, and then everyone starts clapping. I think, that poor cunt.
Yeah.
He's going to go back to his little small village and get ripped to fucking shreds.
Like everybody in the pub. Every fucker. That used to be like part of like English culture. Jamie Carl weren't just a programme that was on for a couple of years, but Jamie Carl was on for like over a decade. So
is it that long?
Yes, bro. Over a decade of like fucking TV. Everyone knew that Jamie Carl was on. It was on like 3 or 4 times a day, bro.
Yeah, bro. It was.
It was on like 8 o'clock in the morning, then 11 o'clock. Then it had like a replay later at night, a late night programmes where he looks at like crime things and stuff like that.
Okay.
Jamie Carl's crime reports. It was part of culture, and then literally just, I get like someone killed themselves and stuff over the programme and that. There was going to be an investigation, and then suddenly it just went, boop, wiped out. A bit like Mandela effect almost. Like, it gets to the point where people be like, do you remember that Jamie Carl show? People be like, what? There was never a Jamie Carl show.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like if he come back now, I can't imagine the nation shutting him down.
Probably
I think he'd probably be welcome. So I'm like, why is it taking so long?
Yeah. Has he got Twitter or something? Because you don't ever see anything like that, either like a tweet by him or...
You know what I'll tell you about Jeremy Carl though? Good mate of my mum's. She has a bit of a mad story with her family. Somehow, I don't know how, but the Jeremy Carl team approached her and offered her however much money. It was a good few grand as well. 4, yeah.
Fucking hell.
They offered her a good few grand go on Jeremy Kyle's show and basically give their story, dramatise it and make it good for the cameras. But you think, wow, that's how they do it. So they're just going to these little small fucking neighbourhoods and offering these people a bit of dough, getting them on and then rinsing them. Because this is why these people are always back together, because their problems are just not that deep. I think they just go on TV for the money and they're like, oh, just say this, like, make out he cheated on you this time, blah blah. And even the lie detectors, you know, I think they could be cunty enough to rig those lie detectors.
Yeah, in a way which is legal as well.
Yeah, like, I could see that happening, bro. I really could. Just for views, really just for the views. Camera's gone up. SD card free.